Welcome to the Positive Message Health Playlist.
The gym. Millions of Homo sapiens across the globe frequent this urban wilderness. Today, we will take a look into these strange places and show you the gym like you've never seen it before.
Meet the buff dudes, Hudson and Brandon Stark. 2.25 million subscribers, about the same as me, don't overthink it. Better understanding of food and fitness. I honestly never knew what their name meant until I did the planning for this video. I just thought that buff dudes meant what it looks like. A couple of guys who like to polish stuff.
He invades your personal space, asking how many sets you have left. And he won't leave until you're done.
What's up? Oh no, I'll just wait as you do this. That's fine. Well, I mean, there's a bench right there that's free.
Gym Zone, fails, freaks, and bad form.
Finally, YouTube placed Vince's advert where it should be, where it belongs. Can we give a standing ovation to YouTube, please?
And so when you open the YouTube Skynet, they have that homepage of suggested videos, and this little nugget of sunshine appeared.
I was bored, so I got in my best shape ever. Here's how.
This is not a channel review, this is an ode to that specific video and the very poignant and important messages that the buff dudes project. Boring. Buff dudes food, please don't be a mukbang calorie challenge channel. Different recipes for different eating protocols. It's a Christmas miracles, I tell you, for a fitness YouTube channel. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch the last video and interacting. I had a list of boldness, always welcome. And don't worry, if Ilya Gollum sees that video and gets upset with me, I'll just run 50 yards away and I'll be fine. Before we get to the uplifting message from the buff dudes, first some science.
Ebroli is just one of the millions of parasitic creatures you can find in the gym. It's a disease whose statistics are staggering. Over 50%, yes, 50% of all gym goers are affected. Rachophobia. As the disease continues to mutate, additional side effects include putting your all over the bench and using multiple machines at once. Some gym goers experience a disease mutation, dumbbell dyslexia. You're now re-racking weights, but you're putting them in an order that makes absolutely no sense.
And so what they refer in the video to as healthy habits is the base.
I've tried to use some healthy habits, which I want to cover in this video to hopefully help you out as well.
That I want to project to you within this video.
Maybe you can use them if you're at a point in your life where maybe you're unmotivated, maybe you need to have a little guidance in order to get where you want to go. You can use some of the things I've used to help yourselves out.
And the guidance and motivation that they may give you is of course useful and valid, but it's that internal discipline that we must have to be consistent with our training.
Honestly, I've really scaled back on the amount of weights I've been lifting. I still lift intense. I really focus on supersets, drop sets, but I'm not really chasing the weights as much as I used to, going for those really heavy lifts, because it's just not as much of a priority for me right now. More of a priority is just keeping that consistency, and I think that's what we all need.
And so this is a very interesting start, and it lends itself to the concept that we can all have different fitness and health goals, and they're not wrong. His focus is now on his consistency of training, and that is a powerful goal in itself.
I really focus on supersets, drop sets.
I have a recent video on superset science that you can watch.
They are tools that you can use, of course, but they are not some magic wand. And that's true of most of these different types of tools that you can use within your programming.
But one thing you really want to try and remember is it's all about the mental game. It's 100% mental, because without it, no one's going to be waking you up in the morning. No one's going to be making your meals. You have to do a lot of those things yourself. You really have to want it.
The psychological aspect of consistency. These are the messages that got me excited to make this video. And trust me, you wouldn't like me when I'm excited. When I'm angry. Sorry, messed that bit up. The psychological aspect of training and fitness is so under-discussed in social media, in my opinion. This discussion of what's going on in here and how that affects our consistency, our discipline, our training over time is so vital.
It's 100% mental, because without it, no one's going to be waking you up in the morning.
Now, as poignant as their clip was, I want to give you a quick insight into my mind. As I'm watching that really nice speech that he's giving, all I'm thinking is that looks like Tony Robbins. And I don't mean anything harmful by that. I watched Tony Robbins' interview with Kevin Hart and McGregor, and they were great and motivating and excellent to watch. But all I'm thinking is that looks like Tony Robbins. This is Shredded Sports Science. It is what it is.
You have to have the desire, you have to have the willpower, and those things take time. You're not just gonna have it instantly. This is something that takes years of work. I've been doing this since I'm a teenager.
And a key message here, and again, much forgotten in social misleadia. I say this all the time. A fitness journey is not linear. It's not just a path to consistent success.
I'm in my 30s now, and there's days it's still not easy. But it's that consistency that helps out, because if you're busting your ass more often than you're not, you're still gonna reap those rewards.
And here's something I would like you to think about and consider. For athletes, for sports people, their training and nutrition absolutely is highly intricate. We could even relate that to fitness athletes in the different spheres of the fitness industry. More complex, for example, than the regular person who's looking for health and fitness achievements. The regular person just looking to build some muscle, lose some fat, gain some strength. Of course, it can be hard to achieve, but the science underlying how to achieve it is actually fairly simple. The underlying base layer principles of fat loss and muscle growth, for example. And so a message I give on this channel is don't suffer from paralysis by analysis. Of course, knowledge is power, and I encourage people to learn as much as they can about health and fitness concepts, to avoid the myths, to avoid wasting your money on certain products, to try and train efficiently and effectively. But as much as we want that knowledge, the other side of that coin and the balance is that the consistency that they're projecting here, the hard work that they're projecting, is also a valid and powerful message.
But at the same time, you want to just consistently work hard. I'm kind of telling myself that, by the way. Sometimes when I'm talking to the camera, I'm basically talking to myself. But damn it, sometimes you need to motivate yourself in order to get it done.
I also talk to myself because I'm Billy No Mates, not a reflective chat to the camera. Ha! Lucky no one can hear me saying that.
Something that I really attribute to getting into shape, getting back into shape, staying motivated, is setting goals, both small goals, large goals, short-term goals, long-term goals.
Again, an excellent projection to give, and this helps with the specificity when you are planning your training. Let's get to the running, and this bit weirdly excited me for some reason. But again, seriously, because it's not something we generally see on many fitness YouTube channels, a discussion of endurance running.
Running. We've done a few challenges, the FBI fitness test, Navy SEALs fitness test.
Did they do the test without practice though?
Bodybuilders tried the US Navy SEALs fitness test without practice.
And there was one part of those that I personally was lagging quite a bit far behind, and that was the running.
In my video about Matt Does Fitness and Mike Thurston undertaking military fitness tests, I discussed how in certain parts of the test they were strong and certain elements they were weaker, and it was their cardiovascular endurance where they were weaker.
My cardio is definitely not suitable for the army.
And they talk about that themselves in their video. And so when I came across this part of the Buff Dude's video, and he's talking about how his cardio was something that he identified as a weakness in a fitness test, and now he's working on that.
So someone made a suggestion that we should try doing Buff Dudes Learn to Run a 6-minute mile, which I thought was a great suggestion, so that's actually what I'm doing now.
And so this fits perfectly into that idea. We can identify what we're strong at and what we're weak at and work on our weak points. And this also relates to the idea of cross-training. If you're looking in their video, it's not just resistance training. He's also performing running. And I love the idea of performing multiple disciplines to try and maintain some level of all-around athleticism.
I've still got quite a ways to go. I actually started at an 8-minute mile. I've whittled it down to 6 minutes and 55 seconds, but obviously I've got quite a ways to go. And there's certain days it almost feels impossible.
And we can also think about the simple yet beautiful act of getting outside and running.
Because, you know, for me it hurts. I've never been a huge fan of running, and it's tough, and that mental toughness is huge.
And that mental toughness of doing what you don't feel like doing or don't want to do, or doing something you are not good at, that again ties into the aspect of consistency and discipline and consistent striving and development within our training.
So my journey isn't over yet. I'm continuing to do it a couple times a week. I'm doing those runs. I'm getting just a tiny bit better, and that's what it's all about. You want to get just a little bit better every single time you do it. Don't give up. until you've achieved your goal.
And so this is the realistic aspect of goal setting.
And it's great because it keeps me accountable. I know that I have to do it. I wake up in the morning. I know which days are the time to run. It's not always my favorite thing, but I go out and do it. And once I'm finished, I feel damn good. And that's what it's about, setting those goals and, more importantly, sticking to those goals.
And so then he discusses his resistance training, and it's from his superhero workout program.
One ingredient we don't have in our plans is badass montage music. That you're just gonna have to find yourself.
That is how you have to do your shrugs every time. And you have to shout "Trap Lord" after every set. And of course, nutrition goes hand in hand with your physical activity. And so I've linked their video below so you can watch the entire video, but also the nutrition section.
And finally, we come to knowledge and action.
And here it is, the phrase that I use a lot on my channel. At this point, I reckon they're just copying me, probably. Just joking.
You can become paralyzed by the amount of information there is out there, especially now. And that's where action comes in, because in order to find out what works best for you, it's good to just go in and do it yourself. I've learned a lot along the way. I think failure is a great thing. You shouldn't be afraid to fail. In fact, every time you fail, as long as you're learning one thing, even if it's tiny, then in my opinion, you've made great progress and you can...
Knowledge is power, of course. Don't be afraid to fail. But importantly, take action. And so on my channel, I present ideas, information, I dispel myths, I discuss different topics using an evidence base of research in an analytical manner. But my key theme running through my whole channel is you must apply to yourself. That's the whole point, to think critically. We are all unique in our characteristics and our goals. And so when I see them ending with paralysis by analysis, I think it's excellent. Of course, learn the knowledge, but focus on the training, the consistency, the discipline, and taking action.
Every time you fail, as long as you're learning one thing, even if it's tiny, then in my opinion, you've made great progress and you should continue going forward.
And so after such a poignant speech by him to end the video, I didn't need to see him in his tighty whities, but let's end with this.
Going into that, but with this one, I wanted to focus more on kind of the mental stuff that I've been doing that's helped me out, because it's helped me, as I said in the title of this video, get in the best shape of my life. So stay safe, stay buff, get out there and get it done. Hell yeah. Until next time.